Hi everyone, this is Trudy. Just take a moment today. We'll do a little slow flow. Maybe life is really crazy right now and we really need this time to just relax and breathe. Just a little time for us. Getting into a nice, relaxed, seated position. Maybe closing your eyes or bringing your gaze to a nice, soft gaze on the floor in front of you. Just take the time to allow the chatter to leave your mind. Our mind gets so busy, things are going. Just calming, slowly bringing your breath to that nice, even breath. Maybe as you inhale to the count of 5 and exhale to the count of 5. Whatever your count may be, just focusing on that nice, even breath throughout the poses today. We'll hold each pose for anywhere from 3 to 5 breaths, allowing ourselves time to stretch, strengthen those muscles, but to also focus on the moment, being present in the moment. Remembering that yoga is non-harming, so anytime you feel any twinge of pain, please come out of the pose, going into a variation of it, or come out of it completely. Bringing your hands to your side, take a nice deep inhale, lifting your hands up, palms together. Exhale, coming to heart center. Inhale, coming, lifting them back up. This time as you exhale, bringing your hands to the outside of your body, about shoulder height. And just slowly rotating your wrists forward. And then rotating them back. And then bringing your palms together in front of you this time and slowly coming down to the mat. Keeping your gaze looking forward, walk your palms forward. And when you feel that stretch, then bring your gaze down to the mat. This will help you kind of keeping that back relatively straight. And breathe. And then slowly walking your hands over to the left, being sure that you keep that right sit bone still on the mat. And then slowly walking back to the center, this time walking over to the right, making sure that that left sit bone stays on the mat, and breathe. And then slowly walking back to the center, this time walking your hands back, coming back into that nice, relaxed, seated position. Bring your right hand behind you, supporting yourself behind you on the mat. Take your left hand, bringing it to your right knee, and slowly twisting, just very gently, not a deep twist at all, to the right. And slowly coming back to the center. This time taking your left hand behind you for support, your right hand to your left knee. Very gentle, slight twist to the left. And coming back to the center. Coming into a tabletop position, however it works for you. Maybe you want to put your hands down onto the mat, bringing yourself back onto your knees. However you come into the position, just making sure that your knees are below your hips, your wrists are below your shoulders. Spreading your fingers out wide, maybe gripping onto the mat a little bit, spreading that weight so it's not all hitting on your wrists. And from here, we'll do a little bit of a cat-cow. As you inhale into cow, letting your belly drop, bringing your gaze forward. And then exhale into cat, arching that back, letting the tailbone drop, letting your head hang. Inhale into cow. Exhale to cat. Inhale. One last time, exhaling into cat. And coming back into that neutral back. Taking your left leg back, bringing it back, pushing on the balls of the feet, just stretching that. Maybe trying your balance, lifting that leg into the air. You can hold it right there. If you want a little bit more balance, then taking your right arm, lifting it in the air as well. Supporting yourself on that left hand and that right knee. And coming back into that tabletop. This time taking your right leg out, pushing on the balls of the feet, just stretching. And then lifting that leg into the air. If you want to try the balancing, taking your left hand into the air this time, balancing between that right hand and that left knee. And coming back into that tabletop position, bringing your big toes together, taking your knees slightly wider than hip width apart, letting yourself just come down into that child's pose. This will be your resting pose. Releasing, soothing that lower back. When you're ready, slowly coming back up into that tabletop. Curling your toes under, lifting your knees off the mat, lifting those hips into the air into your first down dog. Maybe pedaling your feet, bringing the right foot down, bending that left knee, and then doing the opposite. Walking the dog. And when you're ready, pushing both your heels down to the mat. Your heels may not touch the mat, that's okay, they don't have to. Just lifting that hip into the air, your head between your biceps. And then slowly walking your feet towards your hands to the front of the mat, bending those knees, bringing your chest to your thighs. And then straightening those legs up, your back parallel with the floor, your hands on your shin. And bending those knees into that forward fold again, palms up, lifting yourself, reverse swan, palms together. And exhale, coming to heart center. Taking another deep breath, allowing those hands to drop, come up, palms together. But this time, taking your right hand, grabbing onto the left wrist. Just a nice, gentle bend over to the right. Coming back to the center, taking your left hand, holding onto your right wrist, a nice gentle bend to the left. Remembering to breathe. And coming back to center. This time as you exhale, allow your hands to come down, back into that forward fold. Taking your right leg, bringing it behind you. Allowing that knee to drop down to the mat. Maybe you want to have a blanket or a towel underneath you. When you're ready and you feel secure, bringing your hands up. This time just bringing them up behind you, opening that chest. Just This will feel really good if you've been hunkering over a computer all day. And taking your left hand, bring it on the inside of your foot. You can lift that left hand up into the air, twisting to the left, or you can allow that hand to just rest on your lower back. Bringing that hand down, framing that front foot, slowly walking those hands, straightening that front leg, bringing those toes off the mat. And then bending that knee, walking your hands back forward. Curling those toes under, bring yourself into that down dog. Lifting that left leg into the air. Keeping your hips facing forward. And then bringing that foot back down to the mat. This time lifting your right foot into the air. Again, keeping those hips facing forward. This time bending that right knee. Bringing your gaze to the front of the mat, take that foot, bring it right in between those hands. Again, you can drop that left knee down to the mat. When you're ready, you feel secure, grounded, lifting yourself up. This time taking your hands out wide, almost like you're trying to reach opposite walls. Again, opening that chest. Bringing your left hand down to the inside of your foot, your right hand into the air, or again, allowing it to rest on your lower back. And then bringing that hand down, framing that front foot, slowly walking your hands back, straightening that leg, lifting those toes in the air. And then slowly bending that knee, coming back. Again, bringing your hands to the mat, curling those back toes under, coming back into that down dog. Maybe walking those feet again. And then slowly walking them to your hands. Coming to the front of the mat, bending those knees, bringing your thighs to your chest, forward fold. Palms up, lifting yourself up. That reverse swan, palms together. Exhale, coming to heart center. Taking a couple breaths here. From here, taking that right foot, bringing it back. Maybe we'll move this blanket out of the way. Your right foot will be facing the front of the mat. Your back foot will be facing the outside of the mat. Bending that knee, making sure it does not go over that ankle, and then it's geared right towards those little toes. Taking your arms, bringing them up, almost like parallel to each other. Bringing your gaze to those front fingers. Remembering to breathe, that nice, even breath. Straightening that front leg, taking your palms up, lifting them up, palms together. And then bringing yourself back into that warrior two. Lifting one more time, straightening that leg, palms up. And back into that warrior two. This time bending that front elbow, allowing it to rest onto that thigh, lifting your right arm up and over. Again, you can always allow it to rest on your lower back. If you want a little deeper stretch, you can feel free to take that left hand, bringing it down to the mat, and allowing your right hand to come straight up in the air. And then slowly bringing yourself back up into that warrior two. Straightening that front leg again, but this time reaching forward like you're trying to grab something, and allow yourself just to come down into that triangle. If you have a block or something handy you can rest your hand on, feel free to do that, or you can allow your hand just to rest on your shin. If it bothers your lower back at all, just feel free to take that hip and just bring it in slightly to relieve that pressure. And then bending that knee, bringing yourself back into that warrior two. This time taking that left foot, bring it to face the outside of the mat. Both feet facing out, bending at the hip, bringing yourself down into wide leg stance. Your left hand right down underneath your face as you're looking at the floor. Taking your right hand, lifting it in the air as you twist to the right. Bringing that hand back down, replacing that left hand with your right hand. Lifting that left hand into the air, twisting to the left. And then bringing that hand down. From here, bending your knees, lifting yourself back up. Take your right foot, bringing it to the back of the mat. Bending that knee, making sure it does not go over that ankle. Gearing it towards those little toes. Leaving your left foot facing the outside of the mat. Lifting your arms up into warrior two. Again, keeping your gaze on those right fingers. And then straightening that leg, bringing your palms up, coming up, lifting your arms, palms together, and coming back into warrior two. Again, straightening that leg, lifting those palms up, and bringing yourself into that warrior two. One last time, straightening that leg, bringing your hands up again. One last time into that warrior two. This time bending that right elbow, allowing that forearm to come down to the thigh. Lifting that left hand into the air, reaching over. You want a little deeper stretch, taking that right hand down to the mat, letting your left hand go straight into the air. And then slowly lifting yourself back into that warrior two. Straightening that front leg, but this time reaching forward like you're trying to reach for something. And then allowing yourself to come down into that triangle. Again, remembering to just take that hip in slightly, relieving any pressure on that lower back. Bending that knee, bringing yourself into that warrior two one time. Bring both your feet again to face the outside of the mat. Bending at the hip. Bringing your hands down to the center, slowly walking them over to the right, and allowing yourself just to flow over that right leg. then slowly walking your hands to the center, this time walking over to the left, just allowing yourself to fall over that leg. And this time taking your hands, slowly turning those feet to face the front of the mat again. Bring your hands to the front, framing that front foot, then bringing that back foot right up to meet with that front, bending those knees, bringing your chest to your thighs, forward fold. Straightening those legs, making your head back parallel with the floor, hands to your shin for a half forward fold. If I can learn to talk today, we'll be doing good. Coming back into that forward fold, bending those knees, lifting your palms up, coming up reverse swan, palms together above your head. Exhale, coming to heart center. From here, we'll try just a little bit of a balancing pose. Maybe you want to grab onto the wall to help support you. Taking your right heel, allowing it to rest onto your left ankle. If you want, you can leave it right here. If you would like to go up a little higher to wherever it's comfortable for you, either have that heel below that kneecap or above the kneecap, never on the kneecap. And bringing your hands out, almost like you're trying to hold onto opposite walls, taking that right foot down, keeping it slightly in front of you, slightly off the floor. And then bringing that foot over to the side. Sometimes it helps to keep your gaze on a non-moving object in front of you. And then bringing that foot behind you. And then slowly bringing that foot back to the mat, giving your legs just a little shake. This time, bringing yourself back into that pose, palms together at heart center, taking that left heel, allowing it to rest on your right ankle as we work on the other side. Again, you can leave it here if you'd like to lift it up into a position that is comfortable for you. And bringing your hands out, reaching towards those opposite walls. Allow that left foot to come in front of you, slightly off the floor. And then bringing it off to the side. And then behind you. And then bringing that foot back to the floor, giving your legs a nice little shake. Now taking your feet, bringing them to the outside of your mat. Taking a nice deep inhale, palms together, exhale, coming to heart center. Slowly allowing yourself to come down into that squat. Again, how deep you go is totally up to you. If this feels good to you, feel free to stay right there. If you'd like to go deeper, bring in your elbows on the inside of your thighs. Remembering to breathe. And then bringing your hands down to the mat, coming onto your stomach, your arms in front of you, Bending that right knee. Bring your right hand back, maybe reaching towards that ankle, or maybe you want to grab onto that ankle. Just bringing it into your body. Releasing, bringing that arm back in front of you. This time bending that left knee, bringing that left arm over, grabbing onto that ankle or reaching towards it. Releasing that, bringing that arm forward. This time bending both your knees if you would like, and then grabbing on to your ankles. You can hold it right here, just bringing those legs into your body. If you would like to go into a full bow pose, just lifting yourself up. And release. Allowing your legs to come down, bringing your hands down to the breastbone, lifting yourself into that tabletop. From here, taking that left foot back, and then bringing it to the outside of that right foot, and slowly bringing that right leg to about a 45-degree angle, supporting yourself on your right side. Lift that left hand into the air. From here, you can lift that leg in the air as well. And then coming back to the mat, coming back to that tabletop. Taking your right leg, bringing it out behind you, straightening it, bring it behind that left leg, maybe bringing that left foot out, 45-degree angle, supporting yourself on the left side this time. Lifting that right hand into the air. And again, lifting that leg up into the air. And coming back into that tabletop. And then sitting back onto your legs into a nice hero position, bringing your hands behind you, clasping them together, stretching, opening up that chest. And then allow yourself to just fold over your legs. Releasing your hands, bringing them out in front of you and allowing yourself to come into child's pose. And then walking your hands back. This time we want to go on to our back. Lying flat down onto the mat. Bring your knees into your chest, giving yourself a nice hug. Taking your arms out wide, bringing your knees into the air, slowly allowing them just to fold over to your right. You can keep your gaze on the ceiling or allow it to just float over to your left. And then slowly bringing your knees into the air again, this time allowing them to fold over to the left. Again, your gaze can be on the ceiling or you can look over to your right. And coming back to center. Maybe rocking back and forth, massaging that lower back. Bring your right knee into your chest, allow that left leg to go straight onto the mat. And then slowly bring that right knee to the outside of your body, almost like you're trying to tuck it under that shoulder. Releasing it, letting it come down to the mat. This time bringing that left knee into your chest. And bringing it to the outside of your body, trying to tuck it under your other shoulder. And then releasing it down to the mat. From here, you can prepare to get ready for a nice little Shavasana, giving yourself a few minutes just to relax, to breathe, to allow your mind to continue to calm, enjoying the peacefulness that you found. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a very wonderful, peaceful, calming evening. Namaste.